What's up, guys? It's Mr. Kelly with our language arts video lesson for Friday, May 22nd. Today's assignment: read chapter 16 of Sleeping Freshmen Never Lie. You can find the YouTube link to listen to the chapter in today's assignment on Google Classroom. So in chapter 16, Scott feels comfortable enough around Lee to ask her about the poetry she's reading during lunch. The two chat about poetry before Lee reads some of it to Scott, and he is instantly hooked on this stuff. However, Scott is worried that he has already spent too much time conversing with Lee at lunch, and he's worried other people will notice. Lee has a poetry book at home, which has the rest of the poem that he likes, but Scott says he isn't interested in borrowing it, as he's more interested with getting away from Lee. Despite Scott's sudden departure, he can't wait to get his hands on the poetry book. Meanwhile, his conversations with Lee are far more meaningful than his talks have been with anyone else at school. Also, it's clear that the two are starting to bond over their shared interest in poetry, and a friendship could be near. All right, so for today's assignment, consider the following question. Will the poetry book bring Scott and Lee closer together, or will Scott eventually return the book and continue to be secret friends with Lee, kind of friendly with her, but he doesn't want to be friends with her in front of everybody else? Do you think Scott will realize that the bond he and Lee are building is far more fulfilling for him compared to his deteriorating bond with his friends Kyle and Mitch? Is it even possible that Scott will eventually move on from Julia, who never even acknowledges him, and have significant feelings for Lee? So let's go through the directions first. Write at least 3 to 4 sentences in your response. You must also comment on a classmate's post with at least 2 sentences. Feel free to agree or disagree with a classmate as long as you explain your reasoning. You'll not get credit for any comment that is clearly negative or inappropriate. Now, for this assignment, this is going to be on Google Classroom as a question, guys. We won't have the document that we've been having since remote learning started. There's going to be a question posted on Google Classroom, and you have to respond to it on Google Classroom. So I'm going to post a how-to video as well in order to show you guys how to correctly respond to someone else's post and to write a response to the question as well. So overall, these are the questions that's going to be up for today on Google Classroom, and we have to do 2 things. We have to provide our own answers for the question, and then we just have to respond to a classmate's answer, all right? So those are the 2 things we got to do. And also, like I said, I'll have the how-to video up as well so you guys can see how to respond to the question and how to respond to a classmate's response. All right, so let's go over the questions real quick, show you guys some examples. So this is how I would respond to the critical questions. I think Scott will enjoy the poetry book a lot, and I think they will continue to talk about poetry and grow closer. I think Scott will realize that he and Lee are bonding, and he will see that he doesn't have any other meaningful relationships and will gradually get closer to Lee. I think at some point Scott will forget about Julia, but not for a while. All right, now this is how I would comment on someone else's response. I agree that Scott will enjoy the poetry book, and a part of Scott will want to be friends with Lee, but he will be too worried about what other people will think. Maybe through time they will talk more. So really, I want to see you guys really expand upon the responses to the questions, and then just provide a general comment in response to how a classmate answered. All right, guys, so this assignment is due by tonight at 8 o'clock. Please email or comment if you have any questions about anything. And I mean that, guys. Comment or email, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. We have regular office hours from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. and our live class from 12:30 to 1 o'clock. Check Google Classroom for meeting information. Live class, that's a great opportunity for you guys to check in if you have any questions about what we're supposed to do for today's assignment. All right, guys, that's all that I got, and I hope everybody enjoys their Memorial Day weekend. I'll see you back on Wednesday. Take care, guys.